Hi, I'm Ted from Everything Attachments, and we're today with our new design of the floating tailgate that's on what we've always called our Category 1-2 box blade. And it used to be rated from 60 horsepower to 100 horsepower. And the box blade itself, we've never had one bend as far as the main frame, the back cutting edges, or anything like that. And I hate to say never, because every time I say that, one will get wrecked tomorrow by something. But so far, the box blade has been perfect. The only thing we've had any problem with are the shanks. Now, that is a standard size shank. And what they call a 3-inch shank actually measures only 2.5. And the holes that are in them for the pins are normally vary from 5/8 to 3/4, which takes up a good part of the meat that you've got to work with there. So during the middle of trying to come up with a higher horsepower blade, which we did come out with, and we're actually burning our own shanks out of 1-inch thick T1, and we'll skip that for a minute. We stumbled across a manufacturer. I had an old gill box blade here back from the 70s. And we buffed off all the rust off of it. Now, it said super tough on the ripper shank. So we did a little searching on the internet and found out that Bill Manufacturing in Illinois actually still does make the super tough ripper shank upon custom orders. They don't keep any built, but if you order them, you can get them. So there's the Chinese shank is actually what's used on the most popular box blades and what you think are the heaviest, best companies. I'm not going to really mention any names in the U.S. I was surprised they were using the Chinese shank. And then we were always using the shank made in India, which was to us considerably better. And there was no shank that we could find in Italy, which usually I like a little better. But we found these that are made in the States and got one in, got a sample of it, did testing of it. It's as good a shank as you're going to get in a 2.5-inch slot with the 4 holes in it. We think that we're way ahead of where we were, but we have derated this box blade a little bit since we have the other box blade going up to 125. You still may be fine on a 100 horsepower tractor with these shanks, but we just derated it to 75 for warranty purposes and stuff like that. Me personally, as long as the box blade stays good, I don't mind if I have to replace a ripper shank every now and then. But it was a big deal to some people, so we went to the extra effort and expense to use the United States made, put the American people to work, ripper shanks. So we hope that's going to solve any problems that we kind of had, and it wasn't really a problem except in severe conditions, but we hope we've got that better. The rest of the blade pretty much stayed the same. It is still Category 1-2 quick hitch acceptable. Comes with the front top link hook here. Comes with the dual stage pins on it for the Category 1, the Category 2. Has the ripper shanks mounted behind the main tube. The main tube is a 1/4-inch thick on this one. On the 125 horsepower, it's 3/8. Now this has 1/2-inch side plates just like the 125 horsepower. I've never seen any bent or tweaked yet. You know how that goes. So we give this beam here a lot of strength by not piercing it to put the shank directly through the tube here and to put all the mounting behind there. From here up, the blade is exactly the same. It still has the extra wear plate on it. And then we've made it to where we can make it either way. We can make it what was the fixed edge on the back, or we can add this floating edge, and I've left this up just so I didn't have to lift it up later. I will put it down. So the blade did actually get longer. Right here is your moldboard for the front. The blade did get longer on the back to give me room back here, and will also give you a much deeper pocket for pushing. So now, basically this is the exact same shape as what was on our Category 1-2 blade. It has a gusset between every cutout there, which was just a hole. If you had the cutting edge that was bolted on in a fixed position, you would just simply have a hole there, and that's where your edge would go, and you would have a lot of extra area for your pushback material. So it's going to be actually a little better blade to do all your pushing backwards and stuff like that, even if you get it in the fixed position. And if you want the new folding tailgate, this is a piece of 1/4 inch. It has a full 180 degree or 360 degree roll rolled edge on it here with a 1-inch bar through it. We put all this together, slide it in, and weld it in place. It's made in there. The only way to take it out will be with a cutting torch. But we don't expect to have any failures with this rolled edge here being so strong. So we're going to send it with a couple of extra items if you get the floating tailgate. Right now, these would be the bolts that would be used if this were a fixed edge. And basically, that's a fixed edge on this piece of metal here, so we don't have a lot of threads sticking out. Once you put these on, which is what's going to go under here, and you're going to bolt this, you're going to bolt all this back down to make it rigid, or you're going to unbolt it to make it floating. Once you get it one way or the other, you'll probably keep it most of the time one way or the other, but you can change it. So it is both a fixed and a floating if you buy the floating part. You'll get all of the braces it takes to go under here, and you'll get a longer bolt. And that extra bolt is what's going to get you through your brace down here and your spacer down here for your strength to keep your blade fixed. So you'll get some extra pieces. We've matched the angle. We've started here with a full roll, and then we've slanted this down to match the angle of what would be the fixed blade. So the fixed blade is only a 1/4 of an inch difference right now from what it would be if you did not have the floating tailgate. If it were just the fixed edge, it would look the same. It's just a 1/4 of an inch out. It just wouldn't have all this up here on it, and it would give you a really deep pocket here for your back pushing. Okay, so just like on our category 1-2 box blade, you know, the braces still come through from the front to the back, so it's welded on both sides. It has an L shape here to make it super strong to keep it from skewing to the side. We use a piece of DOM tubing here, which is drawn over a mandrel. It's a non-seamed. It's very expensive, but it's the strongest, best fitting tubing that we can get. These are the Volk American-made cutting edges. We're trying to keep as much of this as we can made in America. We really try hard to do that. We use American steel, American paint, American cutting edges. Now we have American ripper shanks. I'm not sure there's another box blade even built that can say the same thing right now. We've really went the extra step. But the difference on the fixed and the floating tailgate, and I made a separate video just for that. You should watch that to make sure that you're making the right choice for yourself. In most cases, if you're doing leveling, you would like the fixed box blade with the rear edge where it kind of keeps it from being able to dip too much and get it like that if you're not a real experienced operator. If you're going to be doing some hard grading and really want to move a lot of dirt, then you want the floating tailgate. So watch the video that I made to kind of separate the two and pick the right one. Just remember, if you buy the floating tailgate, the good thing is you can always put these pieces in and make it a fixed blade, and that way you can do it either way. So I recommend buying the floating one, and then that way I've got the option to do it either way I want to, no matter what job I'm doing. We look forward to working with Super Tough and providing you American-made ripper shanks and the best box blades in the industry from Everything Attachments.